This isn't gonna end well for you, Blake.
Justin Baldoni just tore Blake Lively's entire web of lies to shreds in court, leaving her case in ruins.
If it was just due to the fact that she seems like a rather shitty...
Even Ryan Reynolds couldn't be bothered to defend his lovely wife. He knows she's dragging him straight into the quicksand with her.
You are raging narcissist.
Now Blake's watching her career, credibility, and fortune slip through her fingers. 90 minutes in court. That's all it took for Baldoni to dismantle her legal team and walk away with a crushing win.
Meeting for the first time in court today. It was about a 90 minute.
Not 90 days, not 90 hours. Just 90 minutes before her case started crumbling like stale Hollywood popcorn. And this wasn't even the final trial. Her lawyers looked less like professionals and more like interns lost on day one.
He is, his agent is Ari Emanuel. He's a powerful Hollywood guy, and we all respond to Hollywood power. And there's a hypocrisy and a fraudulence there that the public is picking up on. And so that's really interesting.
And how did we even get here? Because Blake thought she could flex Hollywood muscle with a $250 million harassment lawsuit, probably betting Baldoni would fold under the weight of it. Instead, she walked herself into disaster.
I to blame him, and boy, did she open up a hornet's nest and learn... Be careful what you wish for, because now you've got the fight you asked for, and you're not.
But then Justin Baldoni flipped the entire script, firing back with a $400 million counterpunch. Overnight, Blake went from playing offense to sheer panic mode.
Justin does a better job, in my opinion, of providing receipts and showing full content.
She thought this was a slam dunk. She had the New York Times, Ryan Reynolds, and half of Hollywood elites cheering her on. But none of that mattered once cold, hard facts started flooding in.
Really sees this all the way through and makes sure we get to discovery and proves how disgusting some of these high-level
The judge wasn't buying Blake's act. Every single motion her legal team filed, denied. Imagine walking in with a high-priced army of attorneys, expecting the court to bow to your Hollywood glow, only to watch every attempt get tossed straight in the trash.
I would say another reason that the public didn't respond well to this was because we have already accurately deduced that the both of you are raging narcissists.
The best part, this isn't even trial yet, and she's already racking up L's. At this pace, she might not even survive to March 2026 before her case implodes. Fredman didn't just show up to fight, he showed up to annihilate. From the moment he stepped into court, Blake's lawyers looked like they'd rather vanish. First order of business, shutting down her desperate gag order meant to silence Justin. Denied. Now Fredman is free to rip her case apart in front of the entire world.
Where sometimes people judge you before they...
And the meltdown only got worse. Blake's legal team had nothing. No counter-arguments, no defense, just blank stares and stammering while Fredman shredded their case like a bad Hollywood script. Every motion, instantly rejected. This wasn't a loss. It was a courtroom massacre.
Chose to not impose the gag order on Justin Baldoni's attorney Brian Friedman today, but did threaten to move up the trial if the media press war.
The ultimate humiliation? Blake being forced to face Fredman head-on in deposition. She might have fantasized about handpicking a soft-spoken attorney to lob her easy questions. Instead, the judge shut that fantasy down cold. You don't get to choose who questions you. Now she'll sit under oath while Fredman dismantles every lie one by one.
They're going to court because two things. Blake is trying to gag them. I don't think that's going to go through. How can you try to say you're playing this in the press when the entire reason we got here was because you tried to play this in the press? Like you went to the New York Times to try to take him down and...
And those lies? Career ending. The contradictions alone are laughable. She weeps about feeling uncomfortable around Justin, yet the texts show her gushing about how much she loved working with him. Pick a lane, Blake. You can't cry harassment while sending praise-filled messages about how rewarding collaboration was.
He's basically saying that she does not want to sit down for a deposition with Brian Friedman. Like, I know that this girl grew up rich and privileged, but how rich we talking? You know what I'm saying? Because does she think she's just like a princess that she can just be like, I don't like...
And Justin has receipts. All of them. His 179-page countersuit is stacked with texts, emails, and even video evidence that rips her narrative to shreds.
It's like a princess that she can just be like, I don't like your lawyer, and I don't want to sit down with him and answer questions and tell the truth. So she's trying to get out of having to sit down and be deposed by Brian Friedman. Like, sweetheart, that's
the kicker. Some messages show Blake cracking the same off-color jokes she now claims traumatized her. The hypocrisy is staggering. And then comes the bombshell, video footage that directly exposes her fabrications. She tried rewriting reality, forgetting cameras were rolling. Now her credibility is in ashes, and the world is about to see it play out.
Lively's complaint of harassment. He called me sexy. I felt so uncomfortable. Why would you do that? Well, here's one point where she's calling him a ball buster.
And what about Ryan Reynolds? At this point, he looks like a complete fool. The so-called Hollywood kingmaker hitched himself to Blake's collapsing lawsuit only to discover Justin was sitting on a mountain of receipts.
Justin's 179-page lawsuit, and I am
Ryan thought he could spin the narrative with smirks and Deadpool one-liners. But facts don't bend to punchlines. Instead of looking like a protective husband, he looks like an accessory to one of Hollywood's most spectacular PR implosions.
It seemed like by some of the texts that we've seen that they have a very friendly relationship at the beginning of this process. Clearly that started to fall apart.
Speaking of PR disasters, Blake's reputation is officially dead. Hollywood sweetheart? Gone. Feminist icon? Not a chance. The internet has turned, Team Justin is trending, and her fan base is collapsing faster than her lawsuit. Even die-hard supporters now admit she manipulated the media, exploited Hollywood, and tried to ruin an innocent man for power.
But she did FAFO. Like, she thought she could blame all of her negative press on him. He's a weakling. She's Blake Lively with Ryan Reynolds.
And here's the truth. Blake can't run from this. She can't charm her way out, spin her way out, or PR her way out of a courtroom. She banked on her A-list glow and media allies. But Justin Baldoni ripped that facade to shreds.
Friends, because he's a very small, insecure man. And so what makes Ryan feel good about himself is money.
This isn't a celebrity feud anymore. It's a career-ending, bank-draining, reputation-destroying catastrophe. Worse still, Blake could end up paying him. That's right. She picked this fight. And now she's staring down a lawsuit so massive it could wipe her out entirely. Numbers don't lie, but Blake does.
Actually funny to him is not the sexual harassment. What's funny to him is that he found a tool to be able to stage a hostile takeover of a business. And they were high. They were totally high on their own supply of power. They were enjoying it. They were enjoying humiliating Justin Baldoni. Like I said, they got so close.
Blake Lively's net worth, roughly $50 million. Ryan Reynolds, the perpetual PR machine in a Deadpool mask, $350 million. Justin Baldoni's countersuit? A cool $400 million.
Part of being in the public eye. She's just used to being Hollywood's golden girl. And she had such thin skin that after having a couple negative things happen to her for a month, she had to blame him. She decided.
And that's more than their combined fortune. If Blake loses, and at this point it looks inevitable, she won't just take a hit, she'll financially cease to exist. Years of Hollywood earnings, gone because she couldn't stop lying. And don't think she can just settle, because the judge already merged both lawsuits into one massive case. No exit strategy, no escape hatch. Blake is chained to this fight until the bitter end. And let's be honest, that end looks devastating.
They're watching everyone on TikTok, they're watching everyone on Instagram say, what you did is not okay. And they're standing in front of the world and they're saying, we can't be canceled because we're too connected. So what? Sorry for the rest of you guys. Sorry for the rest of you idiots who are beneath us. We just have to make a phone call to Ari Emanuel and we can get into a skit. And how we treat people does.
And then comes the Hollywood fallout. If Blake loses a $400 million defamation case, what studio in their right mind would touch her again? Hollywood thrives on scandal, but not on liars who cost millions. Marvel? Warner Brothers? Forget it. With every passing day, her credibility evaporates, and the job offers will follow.
Is accused of having turned the whole cast of It Ends With Us against.
So what does a celebrity with no credibility and no legal ground do? Run straight to PR. Enter Blake and Ryan's brilliant idea. Stroll the red carpet at SNL's 50th anniversary. Because apparently nothing screams we're not panicking like grinning through a legal dumpster fire. Instead of looking untouchable, they look desperate. Two stars who can't read the room.
Director Justin Baldoni is now suing his former co-star Blake Lively and her husband Ryan Reynolds, seeking more than $400 million in damages, accusing them of defamation.
And Ryan, in all his infinite wisdom, cracked jokes about the lawsuit. Yes, jokes about his wife's supposed harassment case. What kind of husband mocks something that serious? The internet wasted no time turning on him.
The entire reason we got here was because you tried to play this in the press. Like, you went to the New York Times to try to take him down and to set a public narrative. And now that it's back.
Fans saw right through it. The comment section under SNL's Instagram turned into a bloodbath. shredding their staged act of confidence.
Went to the New York Times. Oh, nobody could be bigger than the New York Times before you filed your lawsuit, as all of the evidence is indicating, because you wanted to set the public narrative against Justin Baldoni. Now that it's backfiring, you're like, hey, I want people gagged. This is unprofessional to go to the press. Everyone sees right through.
Imagine thinking you're making a power move, only to humiliate yourself in front of millions. Ryan wanted a smooth distraction. Instead, he nailed their credibility's coffin shut. Even SNL caught strays for platforming the couple's tone-deaf performance. And then came Brian Fredman, the lawyer who's made it his mission to obliterate Blake in court. He publicly roasted Ryan, asking the obvious. What kind of man mocks his wife's harassment case?
Wanted to be seen. They wanted their photos to be publicized. They wanted people to see them smiling amongst their A-list friends. And then it gets, of course, worse because they wanted to be so seen that Ryan Reynolds, of course, inserted himself into an SNL.
If Blake's story were true, shouldn't Ryan be furious, not joking? Shouldn't he be protecting her, not turning it into late-night comedy? The whole thing reeks of PR spin gone terribly wrong.
This vicious reaction to this. These are just some of the top comments that were on SNL's Instagram posts. They wrote the top comment here. It was funny until the cringe Ryan Reynolds couple made it awkward. Read the room, get out. Could have done without Ryan and Blake. So exhausting. Missing Ryan Gosling, which is...
Instead of salvaging their image, they tanked it further. And Hollywood noticed. The Reynolds lively machine that once looked untouchable now looks guilty and cornered. But the final blow came online. Because when the internet turns against you, it's over. Blake isn't just losing in court, she's losing in the court of public opinion. Social media is now a battlefield and she's getting crushed.
Get it? He's just being his funny Deadpool self, guys. So ironic and it's so funny. He's like mocking the situation.
Not 90 days, not 90 hours. Just 90 minutes before her case started crumbling like stale Hollywood popcorn. And this wasn't even the final trial. Her lawyers looked less like professionals and more like interns lost on day one.